learn something from an unexpected source? Yeah. How are we going to talk about
Tonight?
Tonight? And looking, well, you're saying that, okay. No pressure. You know how that is then? Suddenly you learn something, you didn't expect it to happen. And you can learn the most darndest times. And I learned something recently when I was actually trying to catch the L. You know what the L is? Have you heard of it? Pat knows it, a few of others. If you're not local to Chicago and don't know what the L is. All right, if you know what the L is Chicago's subway train. And a while back, it was rush hour. And if you haven't been at rush hour of the L, I'll explain kind of how it works. You get up to the L station. And when you hit the station, if you see that the sign says that the train is due, you instantly go into panic mode all of a sudden. And you take out your thing, you get it, you swipe it through, and you go through the turnstile, and then you just like running down the turnstile. You just run, pushing people out of the way, because you gotta get on the train, right? The train's right there. The thing you don't know if it's due, you got like about this much time to reach the train. You run down the thing, push people out of the train, and the thing that happens when the train comes is it looks like you're kind of going backwards because the train's going by, and you say, gotta get the train, you kick the doors open, you get there, you find you stop, and there I was, and I stopped and I got in the train. I just sat there for a while. Oh. And I look up, and there's this guy with red hair and ripped blue jeans looking at me like, so I looked at him like, we just sit there looking like each other for a while, like, finally the guy turns to me and says, hey, what's the rush? There's always another train. The first thing I think about is, I think about what he said. I think, what a moron. What do you mean there's always another train? There's this train. This is the train I got on. I won. This is my train. I got on. I win. They lost. Those losers out there are banging on the door trying to get to this train. I did it. I'm on the train now. No one can take me off. Then I thought about it. Okay, if it's a prize, what have I won? And I thought, I'm going to get to work 5 minutes earlier than I would if I had just stayed outside and waited for the next train. Well, I don't know about your job, but for me, 5 minutes earlier to work isn't actually that great of a prize. And the more I thought about it, I'm having a minor coronary here. I can barely breathe. Sweat is dripping all the way down my entire body. I am just absolutely soaked underneath my coat. And for this, I get to go into work 5 minutes earlier. So I started thinking about, it's true. I started thinking about, how those things happen. You start imagining things you didn't think possible, Pat. You start to imagine in your head, like, what would have happened if I had stayed outside and waited for the next train? Well, what would have happened is the train would have gone by, and I would have stood there. 7 minutes later, another train would have come on, and I would have got on. It would be calmer and more relaxed, more at ease. I started thinking about that. So next day, I went off to work, and I noticed the train was due. But this time, I just was cool. Mr. Cool, just kind of casually scanning my things. People were flying by, pushing me out of the way. I didn't care, because I was just going to take my time. Slowly walked down the slanting incline ramp to the train, slowly walking by, and the train came right by me, right past me. I got halfway to the train, the doors opened and closed, and the train took off, and I wasn't on it. I sat there. Just sat there on one of the benches and waited. 7 minutes later, another train came on. I got up and went to work. And I was still on time. But I wasn't sweaty, wasn't tired, wasn't exhausted. And nobody on the entire L train looked at me like, so I started thinking about it. There's always another train. And maybe this happens to you, where you get so busy rushing someplace, you never think about what you're actually rushing towards and why you're rushing. You just get in the habit of rushing. You ever done that? You get in the habit of rushing somewhere, you gotta get there, you gotta get there, you gotta get there. I was doing that. The more I thought about it, okay, there's always another train. It's all right. Like those traffic lights. you know, or they start counting down. You start panicking because, oh, I'm going to miss the light. You know, you start running like crazy. What if you just stood there and said, it's okay. There's another traffic light. There's always another train. There's always another light. Took it easy. Relaxed. How would your life be? Calmer would you be? Much better. More relaxed, more comfortable. Maybe even live longer. So think about it. Oh, another train. You do that, you realize you walk a little bit more certain because you aren't that panic, freaked out look. I missed my train. You look like you're in control. You realize that it's okay, you've got time, you're not going to waste any time doing things. You find out that your life as a whole can get more relaxed, more calm, more focused, and more centered. So when you go to the L next time, and the train is due, and you're just about ready to whip out your stuff and go down and start scrabbling your way to the crowd, just stop. Remember, think. There's always another train coming.